So if I minimize this one,
Yeah. Just where do we need to see ourselves?
thank you, sir.
It's really, it's 2.5 hours. Well. Hi, boss. Thank you.
You guys forward. You've had.
She had to take my
You broke it again.
We can express, I can express that you would want, that to be a 6 o'clock. It's like, or And if there's something you want to write it down, you can pass it down. Get it. So.
We didn't do anything. I'm There's just three of us up here and we do not have the quorum. So the first thing we're gonna do is swear in our three new members. So if you guys will come on up, Lindsay will take care of that.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
Can we get a picture of all of us?
Right now?
Yeah. Can we get
Yes,
a picture of
exactly.
all of us? Sorry.
Oh, we go backward. No. We're doing that. Vote.
What about?
Jamie wants to do this.
One person?
Okay. Perfect.
Okay, let's take our seats and get after it. Get down to business. You know where your seats are? Okay, welcome Bob and Dave and Tim. That's Bob Blinn, David J. and Tim Shoup. They are our new city council members. Let's give them a quick round of applause for each.
So you guys ran a tough campaign.
Yeah.
It was unanimous.
It was unanimous, absolutely. Okay, so we're gonna start with an opening ceremony. After that ceremony, we're gonna have a pledge of allegiance that I'm gonna lead, and if you don't bring for us, that would be awesome. So if everybody will please rise, repeat with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Father in heaven, we're indeed grateful this night to be able to meet in the capacity of this council meeting. We're grateful, Father in heaven, for this new year and all that it brings and all the excitement and all the new challenges, new experiences which we can gain. We're grateful for this new council, for the new members of this council. And we pray as a council that we might be able to do good things, that we might be able to make wise and righteous decisions, that we might be able to make decisions that will be forward-thinking, that we currently thinking as well, that we might be able to do the things which are best for the citizens of Far West. We're grateful for this little community and all those people that live in here, in this area. And we ask for thy choice blessings to be with them. We're grateful for the bounties of life which we enjoy and for the goodness that abounds here in this area. We're thankful for those, the first responders that take care of us, and ask you to bless and watch over and protect them. Help keep them safe in their duties. We're thankful for those who protect our nation and pray for them. We pray as leadership that we might do good things this night, making wise decisions, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you very much, Boyd. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is public comments. So anybody who would like to come up and make public comment, you have a couple minutes to do so. Speak now or wait till next time. I won't. Okay, report from Planning Commission. Madam Chair.
Hello, welcome. It's been a long time since we had a meeting, so bear with me, okay? And we had a lot of stuff on our meeting last time. So one, we held a public hearing and approved the ordinance changes to the revised M1, which you guys will see tonight. We approved the site plan for the Tesla new charging station at 1750 West, 2700 North. We set a public hearing for January 4th tonight for the vacation of a public utility easement for the Wilsons located at 2880 West, 3325 North. We set a public hearing for our meeting tomorrow No, we did, to amend the general plan to allow a commercial zone near 1407 North 2000 West. And then we denied or did not set a public hearing for an amendment to the general plan to consider an M1 continuation zone off of Far West Drive. And pending a work session, sorry, we denied it pending a work session to go over things first. And then that was it. We finished up some things in our previous work session related to the C2 zone. And then we are going to now work on going forward the subdivision ordinance revisions that are due February 1st. And that's where we're at for now.
Okay, any questions for your chairperson? No?
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before you go too far, your assignments and direction. Even though I think, you know what the assignments and direction is, unless somebody has anything else. I've talked with Geneva, and we think that focusing on the subdivision ordinances to have it to us by February 1st is paramount and that's the highest focus.
And I sent Lindsay our ideal timeline, so that should be on your agenda if everything goes well, February 1st to be voted on.
Which is the deadline, so that'll be perfect for us.
It'll be perfect. And you're setting the public hearing for us to send it to you tonight anyways, so.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Helping each other a lot, so. Okay, thank you. Next item, consider approval of minutes dated December 7th, 2023.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes dated December 7th, 2023.
I'll second that.
Okay, Katie and Boyer, motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Okay, next item, consider approval of bills dated January 3rd, 2024.
I've reviewed those and I can't see anything that we would not approve, so I make a motion, we approve the bills.
Second.
Hey, Boyd and Katie are motion in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, consider approval of this is our big list, the 2024 business license renewals. So this is for all the business licenses, for all the current ones. One thing we can do, if there are any that you guys want to pull from the approval, we can state those, and Lindsay's prepared to note those, and then we can approve the rest if that's your desire. So
I just had one that was on the list that I had a question on. The Ogden Cycle Association, since we moved, they were all completely annexed into Box Elder County last year.
you were.
Wasn't
Not
that-
completely, no.
Not completely.
Just the majority, the whole track is in Bucks Elder, but the front
Okay.
part is still in Far West.
All right, thanks for clarifying, because I had thought otherwise.
Yeah, not the entrance is still in Far West.
Scratch that then.
Okay. Okay, I will entertain a motion then if there are no further
I
questions.
just had one
Okay,
question. We have a
Questions?
business on the south end of town. I couldn't see it anywhere on the list, but I just wanted to make sure it's not, that we
it
haven't.
happened to be
Yep.
SBMG.
Yep. Just,
They never came in and got one.
okay, and I didn't see it, and I just want to make sure that we didn't,
That's true. They never
Accidentally.
did renew it, so they can't be renewed.
Nielsen's ice cream still on there.
Nils,
Nils ice cream.
yeah, I think they're on
They
here.
were closed as of,
We just
Christmas Eve.
notified us.
okay. So
It was on here. I saw that one.
them cancel it.
Typically is how I do
Okay.
it. I do know somebody's already called about reopening it under the re.
That calls
For
for
another
require a different license.
license.
Yeah.
The other one I was,
Okay.
the other one I was thinking about is the Far West Auto. I'd like them to come in and talk to us because I think they're way over what they're supposed to have there.
Josh Mays. The original agreement for that was he could have 25 out on the line. And I think it was less, it was 35 or 40 in the back lot.
We've exceeded that, I think, so, but we need to look at that. That's my only thought.
That's 8 years, that's 7 or 8 years old.
I have had some conversations with him. He promises he's trying to get back into compliance.
I would like to have him come in and see us.
Okay,
I would second that. I'd like it to be on the
Okay.
record.
So you want to table his application until he comes in?
okay, so Far West Auto is one that we're putting a line on. Any others you guys have concerns about? It's not too bad, just one out of, what is there, hundreds?
I make a motion to approve the 2024 business license renewals
With that one exception.
with that one exception, yes.
Okay, motion by Boyd,
Second.
second by Tim. Tim, hey. Second by Tim. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, consider approval of council assignments and board appointments. Okay, the reason why we have both of those things on here is because in some cases, these board appointments need action by the city council to do this. So I've shared this with you for weeks, and I think if anybody didn't like what we have on here, would have spoken up by now. And board assignment, you guys are all right with, so Katie Williams will be on mosquito abatement. Bob Lind will be Central Weaver Sewer Representative, Boyd Fair and Fire District, and Bonavista Vista Water, it would be me. You guys okay with all of that?
Hope so, because I filled out the paperwork and turned it in today to the
Okay.
sewer representatives.
I'll make a motion that we approve the council assignments and board appointments for the year.
I'll second that.
Okay, Katie and Boyd. Motion and second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, say nay. No. Or you won't, because you would have by now. You guys would need to speed up a little bit on, because these guys don't, you can't let these guys.
We just want to let them relax this,
Okay.
you know, let them get.
Tim got in there.
You know.
I know, usually it was Josh getting right in there. Okay, business items. Consider approval of the following business licenses, and we'll start at the top. Pony Customs, Adam Mesa. Does Adam happen to be here?
Make a motion, we table the business license.
With a question in relation to that one. Is that application complete, Lindsay?
Still have the fire.
So there'd be another reason to table it anyway,
Okay.
even if he was here.
Contingent on what?
He doesn't have his spiral inspection yet.
Do I have a motion by Boyd? Second by Bob? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, Finelli, hopefully I'm pronouncing this right, Orthodontics PLLC. Representative, come on up. Let us know what's going on.
Yeah, so my name is Chris Finelli, or Christopher's given name. I've been working as an orthodontist for Lance Albrechtson Orthodontics for about 1.5 years. And so now that I've been there, he's stake president and kind of getting a little busier. And so he wants to start slowing down. So I'm buying in the business, need to start my own company. And so I wanted to file for business with you guys or for a license.
You accepting new patients?
I'll be taking over patients with him and continuing to work with him. Yeah.
Where is this located?
2850 North, 2000 West. So just the Far West Medical and Dental Building.
I know where that building is.
Yeah.
Hey, any questions for the applicant?
We've got offices here, South Ogden, and also in Morgan.
Anyone with questions? I will entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the business license for Finell Orthopedics at 2850 North, 2000 West.
That's orthodontics, you mean?
Orthodontics, I'm sorry.
You're all good.
My hip's hurting a little bit, so my mind is somewhere else.
Okay, so I have a motion.
I'll second.
Second by Dave. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Kidney and Hypertension Institute of Utah. Do we have a representative? No representative from Kidney and Hypertension?
This is the first time they've been in for this application?
They're adding on to some.
This location?
Fresenius up on 2700 North.
To the existing building, which has been.
And they were also still looking for their inspections, right? Okay, so I'll entertain a motion.
Motion, we table that until that inspection report is in.
Maybe somebody shows up.
I'll second.
Okay, Boyd and Katie, motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Talmadge Smedley. That's all it says. So you're really gonna have to describe what's going on here.
Yeah, I'm Talmadge Smedley, and I'm applying for a business to run a business from my home. and I would be training other people's dogs. I currently have a kennel license there, but I've been housing my own dogs, training and selling them, but this would open up so that I could have other people's dogs come in there.
So, and your kennel license is current.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, questions?
How
of the
far is this
applicant?
going to expand the capacity of your kennel? How many more animals are going to be there?
I only intend to have the same. My kennel license is for 10 to 12 animals, and I'll just reduce the number of my own animals to make room for the outside animals. I'd only take up to maybe 4 outside dogs at a time.
Where does your training take place?
There, yeah, these are family dogs, so I have a shop in the back that's heated and finished.
Do the owners come to work with their dogs while they're with you doing the
I
training?
do have some owners come that I coach as they train. A lot of it, well, the dogs that would come in to stay with me would stay for the duration of a month, and the owners would visit 2 or 3 times during that month. And then the dog would go home and I would go visit them in their homes while we.
How many people do you typically have there at the same time?
Never more than 4 owners at any time.
Where do they park?
We have a driveway that goes around the back, so we have some.
Not out on the street or in the neighborhood?
Talmadge, I have a canned speech and everybody's heard it 100 times, but we don't want to change the look of your neighborhood.
Right.
Now, you have at your place, you have a facility that you could do that, but we don't want to change what your neighbors see.
Yeah.
And so, signage, parking, undue stress on the neighborhood. So
Okay.
that's one of the things we want to make sure that you won't do with that.
Right.
So, if you talk about training classes, that it's not a big group and they're not parking on the street, we're not changing the look of your neighborhood.
Yeah, the obedience classes are up to 4 dogs in a class. We have room to park out back for that. And we only do those 1 night a week. Just right currently, we're doing it on Wednesday night, and we hold up to 2 classes on Wednesday night. And they would all be able to be off the road.
How much space is there between you and your neighbors?
We're on an acre lot, and they're also on acre lots.
So there's not any close proximity. That's good.
I'll reiterate that you'll still be governed kind of by that conditional use that was implemented in 2017.
Correct, yeah. All dogs sleep inside. They spend the majority of time inside.
To my knowledge, we haven't had any complaints on his kennel, so I think that's a good thing for you. And if there's no more questions, I'll make a motion that we approve this license for Talmadge Smedley.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
I have 2 seconds. I'm gonna let Bob have this one. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, Blue Sky Energy, they are not going to be here, so I would entertain a table motion.
Go ahead, Katie.
I'll make a motion that we table the business license application for Blue Sky Energy Corporation.
I'll second it.
Okay, Katie and Dave, our motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that's our business licenses for this year. So, good stuff. Okay, next thing, one of our favorite things is a presentation and potential acceptance of the 22 to 23 fiscal year audit report. Charles Richards, CPA and advisors, and we have a representative. Introduce yourself and take it away.
Great. Hello, I'm McKenna Myers. I'm the representative from Child Richards. I was also the lead auditor throughout this audit, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I should have most answers, and if not, I'll be able to get back to you on that. So I'm going to kind of glance through. If you notice, you have a stapled letter, kind of going to go straight to the back where we have journal entries that we proposed this year. There weren't too many. There's just a couple reclassifications. And back into the audit in the booklet that you have, if you turn to page.
Sorry, quick question. On these proposed entries, this is just moving money in accounts or?
Yeah, just making sure that assets that need to be capitalized are being capitalized correctly.
Okay. Thank you.
There is a couple ones in there that are interesting, and I'll kind of get to those. It's the implementation of a new standard. As of the 2023 fiscal year, all subscription-based information technologies are to be recognized as a intangible lease. It's kind of an interesting and intricate, weird standard, but I can kind of go into it a little bit later. So on page 1 of your booklet, I'm just going to read off, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material aspects. The respective financial position of the governmental activities, business type activities in each major fund of Far West City. Okay, on page 9, I'm going to kind of skip the MD&A and go straight into the statement of net position. On the statement of net position, your deposits and prepaid expenses asset went down about 35,000. This is because last year you had paid, the city had paid for insurance prior to the year end. And this year the insurance was paid after year end, so there was no accrual of that prepaid. There is also a new asset called intangible right of use asset. This is that recognition of a SPITA for, I believe it is Cassell. Okay, and then on page 12, we have the reconciliation of the balance sheet for the governmental funds. This kind of outlines the reconciling of the balance sheet to the modified accrual basis. And on this, you can see more information about that intangible right of use asset and that there is a new liability for that called a right of use liability. Again, these are not real liabilities or real type assets. They're more just reclassifying expenses into an asset and into a liability. And then on the next page, page 13, franchise taxes went up about 200,000. It was a pretty big increase, but we've kind of been seeing it in a lot of cities as people are recovering from COVID. And then there is the ARPA funding. Last year, there was no balance there, but this year you were able to recognize ARPA funding due to it being used to build the Public Works facility, I believe it is. And then on page 14, I'm just going to highlight kind of towards the bottom of the page there's again that SPITA liability and that SPITA debt service. This shows how much of the liability you would recognize at the beginning of the year, and then that SPITA debt service is how much you've paid this year on that SPITA. And then next page, 15. There isn't much change here from last year. There's no balance in the net pension asset. There's now a net pension liability. This is just URS doing its thing, going back and forth. And in accounts payable for sewer, there is actually a negative balance in the payable. This is due to an overpayment that was made kind of in the middle of the year, and it wasn't quite caught, and it continued to be paid. Cody and Andrea are aware of this, so it will be kind of recognized this next year as to how it will change. And then skipping all the way to page 31. This is, we're going to the notes now, and this is the capital assets increases and decreases throughout the year. There was a lot of road improvements this year that were added in as assets, as well as that construction in progress for that Public Works facility. Okay. And then page 35, this is note number 9. This is that breakout of that SPITA. This kind of breaks it all out, how much of the principal versus the interest will be paid each year. For the principal and interest portion of this, the interest is not real interest. It is what you would recognize if you took a loan out to buy this asset. It's kind of strange, and I think sometimes they implement these standards just so that accountants have jobs.
The things under this would include, you know, like our email subscription,
Cassell.
Cassell, that's kind of the things captured under here.
Yeah, so with the SPITA, it does have kind of a leniency where it says if you renew it every 12 months, I believe. There's like that cutoff of 12 months. It's considered a short term and you don't have to recognize it. It was either Cassell or it was the Thomson Reuters product that was like a 3-year purchase that needed to be recognized. Normally, it would be just a prepaid asset, but because of this new SPITA liability, we had to put it in as a asset and a liability. Okay, and then on page 54, all the way in the back, we have the schedule of findings. So this year you do have 2 findings. One of them is posting meeting minutes within 3 days of approval. During our test work, there was an instance of board meetings not being posted within 3 days of their approval. And so we have to issue a finding on that. As well as with state compliance in the budget. The Utah State Code requires governments to adopt a budget every year and monitor the expenses that do not exceed budgeted amounts. However, the city was over on expenditures within the sanitation fund due to a mid-year contract increase, including a fuel surcharge. I have talked with Andrea and Cody about this and they are aware. So they did issue responses that they will be more will ensure minutes from the city meetings are posted to meeting minute website within 3 days of approval, and the city will monitor its budget more closely in the future. Do you guys have any questions or anything like that?
Anyone? Anyone?
We hate it when we get negatives, but other than that,
That's the whole point of checking it.
that's right.
If you have any further questions after this or anytime throughout the year, you can always shoot me an email or Ryan an email and he'll get it to whoever needs to see it to answer that question.
Okay, well, thank you. That's a lot of information, especially for not only those of us who've been here for a while, but our new folks. I'm sure they, so appreciate it a lot.
Just unbelievable.
So I will entertain a motion of acceptance or not.
I will make a motion of acceptance for the 2022-2023 fiscal year audit report.
I'll second.
Okay, Boyd and Katie, a motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the next thing is to go into a public hearing to consider and act on the request to vacate a public utility easement for Stephen and Colleen Wilson located at 2880 West, 3325 North.
I'll make a motion that we open the public hearing to consider and act on the request to vacate a public utility easement.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, Katie and Tim are motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are now in a public hearing to consider all of this. So is any of the Wilsons here? You want to come up and at least share your dream so that way we can spark some public input perhaps?
Not much of a dream. I want a 2-car garage built out back of my house.
Sounds like a pretty good dream.
I need something to put my car in.
Okay,
And I was reading through your application for this. I wasn't sure whether the amount of the easement that you're looking to vacate or the size of the building had something to do with 3 to 4 feet from the property line, I think is the way it was written on there. The building has to be 4 feet away from the property line,
Oh,
period. It
Yeah,
can't be
right.
3 or 4, it has to be 4.
actually, I would like to get as close as possible, but I'm thinking it's going to be closer to 5 foot.
That's
I
what-
want to
just
be able to
don't-
park my
Don't
side.
go
by
closer
side.
than 4 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, if I'm right in remembering that, is that still correct?
yes, it is.
I saw that 3 to 4 feet and I thought, I don't want to vote for 3 feet.
I want it as close as I can get, but when I get the permit or whatever, I will have that figured out because I want to put my side by side behind it. No use having it sitting in the middle of my yard.
Okay, just so you're aware of that.
Yes.
And I don't
Yes.
know if we need to amend that on that application, but that 3-foot thing needs to go away. Okay, so when that comes in, just be aware that
Okay.
that's a minimum.
Now that we know what he's gonna do, are there any public comments in this public hearing on this proposal? For or against? Okay, I will entertain the next motion.
I will move to go out of a public hearing and back into our regular meetings.
Okay, I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay, we are no longer in the public hearing. Before you go, we got the actual action here. Consider approval of ordinance number 2024-01, the very first one of the year. Vacating the public utility easement for Stephen and Charlene Wilson located at 2880 West, 3325 North. I will entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the ordinance number 2024-01, vacating the public easement for the applicant of Stephen and Shirley Wilson at 2880 West, 3325 North.
Okay, it's a good motion.
A second.
Katie's the second. We'll do this roll call. Tim?
Aye.
Katie?
Aye.
Boyd?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Boyd, or Bob? Got two B's up here. You're gonna confuse me. Okay, that was unanimous. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Good to go.
Now, when can I get a permit? What do I have to
You
do?
you now need to apply with our building inspector.
So I'll have to come down here tomorrow sometime? Online? Okay, that sounds good. All right, thank you.
Remember on Fridays, we're closed at noon? We're closed at noon on Fridays. We close at noon, so.
It's best to just do it on return.
Do it online? Okay, sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
For later, but it's not critical right now.
Okay. We are now at consider approval of the Tesla Incorporated Charging Station Site Plan located at 1750 West, 2700 North. Is the applicant online?
Yes.
Are you there, Jenny?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
It's barely.
Barely, but we can hear you.
Okay. I'm here.
Okay, so does the council have any questions for the applicant?
You have one question. This is Bob Lind, and I had a question about access to your facility. And if you've made provisions or coordinated with the companies that own the access rights that you're going to be utilizing.
That would be the
That would be
Miller.
the Miller Company using their driveway. in effect.
Yes, we are in full coordination with Mr. Miller.
And they have no issues.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually an amendment to their site plan, so they're very aware. Okay, any other questions? Okay. Thank you, Jenny, and I'll entertain a motion on this.
I will make a motion to approve the Tesla charging station located at 1750 West, 2700 North.
I have a motion. Is
I'll second the motion.
that Bob?
That's Bob.
Okay. B and B here. Boyd and Bob are motion and second. We'll do this roll call. Bob?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Boyd?
Aye.
Katie? Kim?
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous. Thank you for participating online, Jenny.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, consider approval of ordinance number 2024-2, amending the M1 manufacturing zone ordinance. So you don't mind coming up and explaining any differences, especially for, why did we need to amend it? And
Well, first off, this is
Hold on.
really last minute, okay? I had a half an hour to put this together, Mayor. No, I'm just kidding. He's like, hey, can you do something on this in the meeting? I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, it's either that or you trying to answer the questions.
No, this actually was a really easy one. We,
He's got something else.
oh, wait till he's,
Because this is hers.
You guys, she's presenting here.
because you two are gonna need it the most, so I don't want to start without you.
Sorry, Geneva.
Okay, so probably this time last year, we got some M1 stuff, or we had some M1 stuff going on Far West Drive, which made us really look into the M1 ordinance, and we had done the M1 next to residential, and it kind of just caused us to look into this and see that it really wasn't didn't give anyone any information when they went to go look at the code. So we took it and, or we were asked to take it and revise it to be a little bit more useful when people look up our code and are in the M1 zone or would like to apply for an M1 zone. So really and thinking back, I probably should have done like a comparison so you could see the old and the new. We didn't change all that much. Really what our old M1 ordinance had, everything was permitted that was allowed in the C2 zone. That was all the permitted uses in the M1 zone. Anything that was besides that was a conditional use. And then there were the prohibited uses. And it just didn't allow anyone to say, hey, well, why are we even in the M1 zone? Nothing is allowed in here that we don't have to get a conditional use permit. So we took the time to go through. I asked the commission members to each pick a city, and we took everything that was in their M1 and we compiled all the uses together. And we went through a very long list of very specific at times uses. And we kind of put things together and grouped them and eliminated ones that weren't pertinent in our city. And then we came up with a list of actual uses other than C2 uses that are allowed in the M1 zone. And then we updated the conditional uses, we updated the prohibited uses, and we updated some of the conditional use verbiage, and then updated the landscape ordinance to match some more of the commercial ordinance that we just changed. And that was really it. It wasn't a big overhaul. It was just updating the uses and making it friendlier, clearer. There you go. That's a better word, clearer for the public. So.
Might pipe in a little bit on that. I was attending most of these meetings as a spectator until I come up here, but they done a really good job of reviewing them, and everybody had input. And the end result looked really, really good for me.
I would second that. I think it makes it a lot more clear as to what our expectations are and what we will and will not accept. And then I think it also gives us a lot of latitude for those conditional uses as well, so that we, in those instances, we can, kind of govern what happens with those. So I appreciate the work and that you all put into this, and I think it's very well written.
Awesome. Thank you.
Lively meeting. Any further questions?
I'm in the dark because I don't know what you changed. I don't have it in front of me, so I can't see what was and what is.
Basically, this was added in here. Actual uses.
Yeah, really what the biggest meat of it was putting actual uses to permitted uses.
Permitted uses, not just what's in the C2, but these are actual permitted uses in the M1.
Yeah.
We'll have copy. It's okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we'll get you into Dropbox so you can read these things. I sent you another invitation.
Yeah, well, you and I'll talk about that after this meeting.
Okay, no further questions. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance number 2024-02, amending the M1 manufacturing zone ordinance.
I'll second.
Okay, Katie and Tim, our motion and second, because it's an ordinance, we will roll call. So Tim.
Aye.
Katie.
Aye.
Boyd.
Aye.
Dave.
Aye.
Bob. Okay, it's unanimous. Okay, the next one, consider approval of ordinance number 2024-03, amending the fee schedule enumerated of the Farr West City Code. Someone needs to help explain that. We just upped the amount, is that what that was? Liam, maybe you can enlighten us.
I worked with Nate on drafting this, but that's the extent of it. All I know is that Nate, in looking around and talking with other municipalities in the area, realized that our minimum permit fee amount was exceedingly low. And it hadn't been updated for, I can't remember it had been like a decade plus since we'd even looked at that. So we're just updating it to kind of be more uniform with what other municipalities are doing. And yeah.
That the only change is what
That is
permit
the only
is?
change. Yep. That red number, we went from $200 to $400 on this permit fee.
Basically double.
Yep.
I just noticed on the ordinance that the block at the bottom is still dated 2023 and
Yeah. I
has the
noticed
old
that too.
council members.
Does-
Yeah, we can write those in. This was drafted, I think back in November we did this.
Will be effective as of our
Right.
approval.
Yep, we can still change those
The
dates
dates and the names on there
Yep.
without any.
without any problem. That's fine.
I will make a motion to approve ordinance 2024-03, amending the fee schedule enumerated of the Far West City Code.
Okay, motion.
Second.
Katie's the second. Once again, we'll roll call. Bob. Dave.
Aye.
Boyd.
Aye.
Katie.
Aye.
Tim.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. Thank you, Liam. Okay, here's a fun one. Confirm date and times of council meetings. And it reads the first and third Thursdays of the month at 7 PM, right here at this address here in Far West.
Are you ready for my questions?
You can question away.
I was wondering if there's any appetite for changing the time to 6:30. I kind of ran it past mayor and he had said in some instances that it'd been harder for work sessions. But just seems like better to start early and.
I said you could ask. So how does everyone feel about that? And Liam, can we change the time even though it's written down as 7 in the minutes or the agenda?
Yeah, we would just change the agendas going forward and the public notice of those.
This would just be for city council because that's all it is here. Planning commission.
Is that going to cause a problem just in general perceptions between planning commission meetings being at 7 and city council being at 6:30?
I actually love Katie because I actually asked Lindsay a month ago or something like, why can't we have meetings at 6?
I was
So-
even thinking 6.
I love that. So whatever you guys change to, we would happily change. And 6:30,
Make the same motion in your next meeting.
yeah, and 6:30 probably makes more sense because we always have a work session. So 5:30 work session, that's probably more achievable for most people than a 5. So
And that's probably 6:30 is probably better if you do a 5:30 work session, because then people that have to travel can get there.
do there,
That's
yeah,
gonna be my comment, is people traveling, trying to get home from employment
right.
will be able to make it, and it's gonna be tight for some people, so 6:30 seems more logical to me.
Yeah, agreed. I think 6 is probably for us not the right time. So, but 5, and we still have, there's a couple of planning commission members and they come 15 minutes late and that's how it's always been. It doesn't,
Be 45 minutes late.
well, there's, yeah. And they'll get with it.
15 minutes late, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I love that idea.
Lindsay, do you see any administrative hiccups with that?
How do you feel?
Yeah.
You're pretty
As
important.
long as you don't go 30 extra minutes because you started from.
No guarantees.
Good point.
Okay, is that in the form of a motion?
I mean, how do the rest of you feel about that?
Well, I'm retired. I can show up anytime.
Don't point at me. I'm fine with it, Katie.
Okay. Well, then
Want to move it back to Wednesday nights? That's where it used to be.
Thursdays.
Okay.
Thursdays. Okay, I'll make a motion that we confirm the date and times of council meetings as the first and third Thursday of the month at 6:30 PM at Far West City Hall.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That was unanimous. Okay, the next one is to set a public hearing for the planning commission for Thursday, January 25th, 2024, to consider approval of the updates to the subdivision ordinance as mandated by SB 174. We're doing this so that we can have our public hearing in time and enough time to give notice of it and still meet our hopefully February 1st date. So somebody's doing it for us, basically, so that helps. And I saw some of your correspondence and that's going well so far. So far, so good.
The only thing, I don't see a time here, so will we want to include that in the motion?
Well, it's for during the planning commission
Be their
meeting.
6:30 meeting.
6.
Well, they,
Public hearing. I was thinking a work session, sorry.
no, this is they'll have the public hearing during their regular meeting, whatever time that happens to be right now. So
Still on vacation mode.
it's hard first of the year. Entertain a motion.
I move that we set a public hearing for behalf of the planning commission for Thursday, January 25th, 2024, for the approval of updates to the subdivision ordinance as mandated by SB 174.
I'll second.
Okay, Tim and Katie, your motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, report on the assignments you just got, so hopefully everybody will have lots. I'm gonna start with Katie because she thinks she needs to get to Idaho Falls. She was gonna make me do her assignments, but I think we made it.
Congratulations to all of our new council members, and we're excited to have you on board, and I am excited for the work that we'll get to do together and the craziness that will ensue. So, and I'd like to be a resource to any of you, so please reach out if there's questions, and I like to ask them. So first assignment report will be on the Communities That Care Coalition. They are holding a winter summit February 22nd and 23rd at the Eccles Conference Center. The Communities That Care Coalition is a group of representatives from the Weber Morgan Health Department, the school district, and youth, and it's kind of like they focus on positive behaviors that have gone through this whole rigorous research process, and they found that if you can support these key behaviors in youth, that it leads to positive growth and involvement in their communities, and they are less apt to get involved with the less savory elements of life. And so I really enjoy being part of this. And this winter summit will be a meeting of all of the Communities That Care coalitions in the area, and it's going to be at the Eccles Conference Center. And they'll be discussing topics like, how to encourage kids, how to, recognize signs of depression in teens. And so everyone is invited to that, and I'll share more information as it comes out. We also have a kickoff meeting on Tuesday, January 9th at 5:30 at the Marriott Slaterville offices that I will be, and hopefully Mayor will be attending. Just gotten notice that the first mosquito board meeting will be on Monday, January 8th. So I will plan on attending that. And then as far as the ramp grant, they are quickly approaching being due, and we are putting kind of all of our efforts into applying again for the playground replacement at Mountain View Park. And hoping that we applied for this for it last year and just came up short in a couple of categories. And so I think we've got a good plan to push that one through and get that one completed. And so that will be going in January 12th. And if I could request your delivery services again, that would be great.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's it.
That's it. Are you out of here now?
Yes. Have to go. Sorry, you guys.
You're excused. Thank you, Katie. Unplug her. So Boyd, I'm gonna pick on you next.
Because I'm not going anywhere? Is that what
You're not going anywhere. And these other guys will probably be fairly quick because I'm not sure how much they've done on their assignments since we just barely gave them to them.
And as far as assignments, we're just trying to get back into, we were just discussing some of the things that are going on in the sheriff's office. And so need to get back moving on some of those things. Looking for a different effort on volunteers and police service this year. And other than that, we have our Fire District Board meeting. We had our executive committee meeting on Tuesday, but we have our board meeting next Tuesday. So we will, have something to report after that.
Okay,
That's it.
it's easy this time of year.
Busy this time.
Okay, I'm gonna go through the rest of you guys in case you want to say, so Bob, go ahead. I know you've done at least something towards your assignment.
I have a little bit to, very
Okay.
little bit. The storm sewer roads, I've been meeting with the city employees, going through the city, looking at points of interest, gathering data, just so I have an awareness. I'm getting familiar with budget and materials. So that's that. I still need to meet with you some more on trails and start digesting that. For CERT, I need to establish time to meet with Lou Wakert so we can converse and establish a basis, foundation. Yes,
Am I working now?
you are.
Residentially,
That is correct.
do I get more pay?
I am sorry.
It'll be the same.
It's less, he'll be easier.
I will bring the aspirin for you.
Okay, let's,
Um,
I have a proposal to submit, so I'm here to find out.
so
Bob's your man.
haven't done anything on grants, Central Weaver Sewer Representative. The paperwork has been submitted. I will attend the first session of this year in February, or pardon me, in January, and then go through introduction in February. So that is started.
Okay. Thank you, Bob, and welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, David.
I pay sales tax. I notice that one's on there. We'll see what else that leads to. I have met a little bit with Roberta over in the senior center, and we'll continue to build that link. Other than that, the housing committee doesn't exist yet. And I haven't had any contact with youth city council. So I'll need to know. That's what?
That'll have to be rebuilt.
Okay, so is that dormant right now? Okay, so a lot of these are sitting on the ground. We'll have to build them up.
Yes. You're the right man for the job.
Glad you think so.
Okay, Tim, what do you got?
Well, actually, I don't have anything. I've been attending the planning commission meetings and getting acquainted with the commissioners and the chair. They seem to be doing a great job, and I will appreciate working with them. Housing committee, of course, we'll get that started. And I just don't know of anything else other than the legislative policy committee. I guess there's a meeting on Monday. I'll be attending one form or another to get started. Otherwise, I have nothing else.
Okay, that's actually quite a bit from all of you, considering you just barely got the assignments, even though you knew they were coming. Okay, I'll go over mine fairly quick because luckily last month there wasn't a lot going on. So as far as my WACOG assignments, that'll be Monday, January 8th. Bona Vista, Ron Stratford is our new chair, and they decided to let me be the vice chair. I guess I tried out and won, is the way they put it, by way of going, I'm it. And they meet the last Monday of the month. Legislative Policy Committee is also on Monday, so I'll be attending that as well. We went through the council assignments. So that's another thing that I did as my assignment, was to give you guys assignments. And I appreciate all of you guys willing to step up and do these things, because we're going to have to do all of this as a team, because we do not have, like other cities do, massive staff, planners, city manager, any of those things that other cities have. So we get to step up and do what we got to do. The housing committee, I was going to talk about that. So David J is going to be our chair. Tim Shoup is also on there. Me, we're going to have 2 planning commission members that Geneva's going to give us, and 2 public works, and that'll be Nate and Rob. And so we'll set up some type of thing and get organized and figure out where to go. I did give you guys that are on the committee some information about some housing. I think you saw that. Okay, David?
Yes.
Okay. That's just, it was on my desk and I thought I might as well let you have a copy of it.
Thank you.
It helps us through what it is that we're doing. We have to report the housing stuff every year by, is it August 1st? August 1st. So we have to talk about our strategies and how we're achieving them. So we'll have some more conversations and we can't just say, these are our strategies anymore. We have to go, how are we achieving them? And what are we doing towards achieving them? Last year, we had 5 strategies. They only accepted 3. So we've got some improvement. Luckily, we're still good. We're just not in the preferred rate. One thing about it is, and I really don't like that they do this on this housing stuff, and I'm sure the legislature will come at us with some more things. The fact that they threaten to withhold funding from us if we're not playing ball. So we'll do what we can. We have a CDRA that we actually organized many, many years ago. So having to do with the 2700 area. And the council is the body. And so I'm going to begin with you, Dave, because that has to do with economic development. And we'll figure out what we got to do there. We'll get the documents, and apparently it's a body that we can organize, we can meet and do the things we got to do there, including things like putting together what they call PIDs, which are public infrastructure districts. Those help developers put in infrastructure for certain types of development if the city chooses to designate an area, a district for that. So something we may need to consider doing in order to help those that we want to bring into the city. One thing that we found out recently is our website and emails are, once again, the legislature has decided we have to do things the way they say. We have to, right now we're basically FarrWayCity.com or .org or .net. Well, none of those they're still okay, but they want us to be a .gov. That will also change our emails. Reached out to Chris Parks, get some feedback from him on getting that. So you guys have your new email addresses, but we're all going to be changing over to a .gov. Luckily, we have a whole year before we have to be there, according to the lady that was talking to me, and there may be some training involved as well, because this has to do with cybersecurity and all this other kind of stuff. So things we have to do because there's nefarious folks out there in the world.
Still?
Yes. And we talked a little bit about the Administrative Land Use Authority. This Administrative Land Use Authority that we're doing for the subdivision, that's for final approval. So this body does not get to do final approvals on residential subdivisions anymore.
It's going to be the state?
No, it goes to this Administrative Land Use Authority, which will actually be one that we organize, which will be mostly staff and planning commission. We're putting it together. But what they've said is the city council can't play anymore. So we don't get to. But they say that because it's administrative, because we have already, in a legislative way, decided what zone it is. So the whole idea of that is if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing within the zone, then what's there for us to even think about? Either comply or they don't. So that's what the planning commission is going to be working on, and the land use authority is part of that subdivision process. One thing I wanted to at least ask a question on, it's not something we can make a motion on, is what do you guys think about this land use authority also approving site plans? Thoughts?
It falls in the same arena with what you were just talking about. In other words, the site plan has to comply with the zone.
Will it still be vetted by the planning
Yes.
commission? Okay.
You're just talking about residential.
No, I'm talking about site plans like for
Any zone?
Commercial, yeah.
yeah,
Commercial?
the site plans. Those are usually almost always commercial and manufacturing.
I don't know. I think we still ought to keep an eye on those.
Okay, I just wanted to throw that out there because it's one of those things. For instance, this Tesla thing, these guys have vetted it to death.
I think we need to think about that a little bit.
Okay.
He doesn't.
I'm not sure I want to vacate that yet.
Yeah, that's just a straw poll. right now.
Messing around in the zone is one thing, but the actual proposal of what I'm gonna build on this piece of property, we're not talking about a residential development approval anymore. We're talking about an individual structure, an individual application on a specific property within a zone. I think if we still got the latitude to do that, I think maybe.
Yeah,
like Tim said,
the planning commission would still be involved, building inspectors would still be involved. So it would go through still the land use authority that has those folks on it. So that's
My
why.
initial thought is if it's a commercial, there's gonna be fees involved. Can the planning commission handle fees or is that?
That goes through building inspectors and all that for the fees. Yeah, it's kind of an administrative thing. It used to be the planning commission actually approved site plans and it never did come to the city council. And so I wondered whether we can back that off a little bit and just allow our new land use authority to make the approval on a site plan. It's a thought.
A chance
Yeah,
to work a
let's-
little bit.
Let's move this down the road and see how that works out.
Sure.
Maybe that's potential for that. Yeah.
Just wanted
I agree with Tim.
to throw that spaghetti against the wall and see how well it stuck. Okay, okay, we had some
You set
training.
yourself up, man.
Many of us went to the newly elected officials crash course. Today there was Land Use 101. I was going to attend, but I missed it. Did anyone on the planning commission attend? Anybody on the council attend? Okay, we missed our Land Use 101 potential training, which could have applied to some of your hourly meetings. Liam's gonna help take care of us.
You can do that for us, can't you?
Yeah, because, yes, we need to do that. So now that we have these bodies, we should make sure that we do that.
When I used to do it for you guys, it is that you guys.
He used to, yeah, but we talked, maybe we wanted to do it jointly, so that.
I would prefer that way we do it in one, I'm sure you would prefer.
Up for, I think that first week in February. Let's try to set it up for that.
Okay, the other training they have going on is, how does the Utah legislature work? That'll be interesting. January 9th, 12 PM, that's an online thing. If you go out to the League of Cities and Towns, you can probably find all these. And then January 11th, there's a legislative preview. Cities work on Capitol Hill. That's another thing that may be of interest to see, because the more you know of what's going on with the legislature, we're gonna have to do things because they've made some decisions. Like we're always doing. Seems like that we're doing more of doing what they're asking for than anything else. And I did give everybody a map. So this map that I gave everybody is our current future land use that's in the general plan. I thought it would be good, especially for our, not only our new folks, but us old folks, to make sure that we see this, we understand it, and understand that right now this is our dream, and we can stick to this dream when anything comes in for proposals and anything like that. So I'm a big fan of, if somebody comes in with something proposed that is not on this plan, we either change this plan or stick to it. Well, actually, we always stick to it, but we change it before we stick to it, if we're gonna change it. So I think the planning commission is on board that way as well, right, Geneva?
Yeah.
And I know Lila is. Who's a big fan of the plan as well. Okay, so we have, that's all I have on my assignments, but we do have one last agenda item.
I'd like to make that motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, Boyd and Tim are motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?